Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Oliver Carnati here, and just wanted to briefly, and I'm talking about briefly because this subject could take forever. I just wanted to briefly talk about why I do Kali. Well, first off, Kali is it's a pretty awesome and extensive system that takes quite some time and some patience to understand, to learn, and to apply. But it's essentially a bladed system from the Philippines, and there's a lot of historical significance in there for me. But at the same time, it's just keeping my mind extremely open to learning such a vast but an amazing system. Because when you deal with weaponry, it's not like you can go toe to toe and go mutualistic. You know, you cut me, I cut you, or hit you with a weapon, and you hit me with the weapon at the same time. You're talking about mutual destruction here. So you have to actually put yourself in more strategic positions and protect yourself. But not only protecting yourself, but you're also protecting yourself and your loved ones. And you're not only dealing with one opponent, you're dealing with multiple attackers. With that being said, without going into too much detail about what it is, but what has it done for me? Well, I'm very fortunate. First and foremost, I'm very fortunate, and I tell this to Paul all the time, that it's quite an honor, and I'm very fortunate to be a part of Kali, especially Kali Center, because it's not easy to find a Kali, a place to train Kali. It's not very huge here in the Midwest for some strange reason, but here in Chicago, it's not as readily available. So we are very fortunate that Paul Ingram is teaching Kali here in the Chicagoland area, and for me to be a part of it is quite an honor. And the reason why it has made a significant improvement in my life is because of what this system does. I mean, it's not just, oh, you're learning movements, you're learning how to counter, you're learning how to attack. You're learning a system based on angles, based on timing, based on application, based on coordination. There's a whole bunch of things that go into it, and it really makes my brain work. And to be honest, it's not like I'm getting any younger, but I put a lot of effort into making sure that my body is active. But at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm getting meaning out of my movements. I want to make sure that I'm getting results out of my movements. I want to be able to see my progress. And the unique thing about Kali, and when it comes to anything athletic or even intellectual, is that the more time that you put into it, and what I mean by time is the amount of minutes and hours that you put into it. Because you could say I've done it for 20 years, but when you put all your time together, it could have been 6 months. But it taught me a lot about repetition. It taught me a lot about patterns. It taught me a lot about testing the what ifs and the results, a lot of cause and effect. And based on what I did here, what kind of reaction did I receive? It also taught me not to be so sensitive. It taught me to have more guts, essentially. And when you look at it as a system, and the reason why we call it a lifestyle, and of course we also focus on our fitness as well, is because in order to effectively be proficient in Kali, you have to, of course, be athletic, because there's a lot of athletic attributes. You have to take care of your health. And when you put those all together with the knowledge of Kali and how vast the system is, and you in applying it not just as a martial art but a lifestyle, it does make you view the world differently. When you drive, watching your flanks, following too close. It's the same thing as weapons. I mean, if you're too close, you're talking about mutual destruction. You're not looking at your range and how much time you have and that distance to be able to protect yourself or your loved ones, the people behind you, the people beside you. When you're walking, you become more aware of what's going on around you. You start to have more environmental awareness, which protects you. And that's what Kali develops. It gets rid of a lot of your ego and your emotion, because if you don't have emotional composure, there's no way you're going to be able to function at split-second times when your life depends on it, or the life of your loved ones depend on it. So it's done so much for me, not just in the aspect of self-defense and awareness in my environment, but also in business. It's allowed me to have some guts and to try and to find a way and to find a truth, and to know that failure is a good thing, because you're looking at something where it's repetition. If it doesn't work, you need to try something different. if it does work and you hit something where it doesn't work again, at least it's a stepwise process where you're starting to see the patterns of success when it comes to Kali, as well as when it comes to business or being an entrepreneur. So you can't separate the two. It makes you better. It made me better. It's continually making me better. It makes me more aware of what's going on. It makes me even take cues from my emotions so that I understand what's going on in my body. But it improves not only your mental portion of it, but it also improves the health portion of it. And it improves your lifestyle. So without going into too much, that's the reason why that's the reason why I know Kali has improved my life. Could it improve yours? It really depends. If you decide that you wanted to do it and you wanted to take it to a level of true understanding and asking questions and getting answers, and you want to get good at Kali, it's going to improve your lifestyle because it affects the way you eat. It'll affect the weight. If you're overweight, you're going to say, well, I can't move around as dynamically as I should because this is what the system is telling me. You start changing that. You start changing the aspect of learning. Like, okay, I don't know this specific skill that I need to take care of at home or business-wise. You start looking for answers, and there's always the truth. So thanks for following me here on my entrepreneur page. If you guys are interested, which you should be, in Kali, check out kalicenter.com, and also check out the school location, kalicenter.org, and make sure to follow Kali Center on YouTube. And of course, we're on Instagram and everywhere else. Talk to you guys soon.